Sri Lanka believes, as one of the founding members of the Human Rights Council, that human rights are too important to be used as a tool to victimize states for political advantage. It is essential that international action to facilitate compliance with human rights standards be fair and even-handed. Human rights have to be protected and advanced for their own sake, not for political gain. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, even as we are gathered here today, state sovereignty, civil society, and the rule of law are increasingly being threatened by terrorism and other illegal and illicit activities in many countries. We need to be vigilant about those activities. Although the United Nations system has set up mechanisms to deal with many of these problems, the capacity of the United Nations to address these challenges effectively has been brought into question. There are many member states represented in this assembly today who have first-hand experience of the havoc caused by brutish terrorism, which has stretched out its claws to many corners of the globe to mar innocent lives. All terrorist attacks, whether in New York, Mumbai, Cairo, London, or Colombo, are acts that threaten the democratic way of life and must be condemned unreservedly. Terrorism anywhere is terrorism. There is nothing good in terrorism. Sri Lanka has taken an upfront position in the global community's efforts to deal with terrorism. We have become party to 11 of the 13 United Nations conventions for the suppression of various acts of terrorism. We think that the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, which in our view remains a priority, is only limited to endless discussion. I emphasize, we must conclude those negotiations soon. In whichever continent there be conflict, those conflicts will affect the world economy. Peace in the Middle East would have a great impact on our economy. Solutions sought for conflicts in various countries must be indigenous solutions. Otherwise, even if the international community is appeased, people in the countries saddled with conflicts will not be satisfied, and this would be a blow to democracy. At this point, we must focus our attention on the Palestinians who are striving for an independent state. The world community must help them to manage their country without any undue influence. Friends, we strongly support the strengthening of United Nations mechanisms for countering fundraising for illegal and illicit activities. We encourage the Secretary-General to allocate more resources to this area, especially to enhance technical skills in countries which do not have such skills. Many developing countries would benefit from such assistance. We need to have a better mechanism to provide solutions to the problems confronting us. Support should be obtained from all member states for this purpose. Friends, the United Nations record of achievements is a mixed one. As resources received by the United Nations are limited, it has been only possible to deliver limited results. We need to focus on those, as they have often been characterized by many as poorly coordinated, ineffectively designed, ineptly staffed, and overlapping programs with unnecessary interagency rivalry. The United Nations must always remember that its primary function is to render assistance for the well-being of its member states. We have reached the development decade, which was declared by the General Assembly of the United Nations. My country has declared the Mahinda 10-year vision to usher in a new Sri Lanka consonant with those goals. And through that, we are committed to achieving the Millennium Development Goals. We have accorded priority to those areas liberated from terrorism, those that have been devastated by natural disasters, and rural areas that are lagging in development. However, it is a huge challenge for us to fill the gap created by the loss of human lives arising out of disasters. We are implementing a rural development initiative based on Maganiguma, the Road Development Program, and Gamaniguma, the Rural Reawakening Program, and a National Infrastructure Development Initiative. Mahinda Chintana 10-year development vision includes continuous qualitative upgrading of education and health programs in all areas, livelihood initiatives for low-income groups, and broad social welfare programs covering poor and the disadvantaged of society, and some specially aimed at children and women. We also implement programs to protect our people from narcotic drugs and diseases transmitted through social contact. Working people, as well as low-income and poor groups in developing countries such as ours, face tough challenges due to the escalating world oil prices and increases in prices of essential food items. We are also severely affected by natural disasters and uncertainties in the world financial markets. And so it has become a challenge to achieve the Millennium Development Goals declared by this august Assembly. The World Bank, which was established for economic development, the IMF, which was set up for financial stability, and other regional banks established at the same time as this world organization, all need to implement new programs to assist countries affected by challenges. Priority must be given to providing resources for this purpose. I believe that our obligation as global leaders at these sessions of the General Assembly is to commit ourselves to programs that will eradicate terrorism, establish human welfare-oriented development, establish democracy, and ensure there is hope for low-income groups for economic development. Accordingly, I appeal to the global community to make this 60-second session the beginning of a new chapter, rather than just another session. May the triple gem bless you. Thank you.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka for the statement just made. May I request representatives to remain seated while the Deputy Secretary General and I escort the President.